Hi, it's spring. We're in Canada and it's time to do some gardening, and I'm going to take you for a little tour of my greenhouse and my vegetable garden, and I'm going to show you how you can grow your own food during COVID-19. But in the meantime, I just want to say hello to spring and hello to this, my nesting box. That's one of 40. I've got 40 on the property. I have a 10-acre garden, and the tree swallows have arrived today, and I have to tell you, my favorite day of the year. So come on inside. I'm going to explain what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. So come on into the greenhouse and we'll get started on the tour. Now, I want to say thank you to my wife, Mary. She's actually shooting me today, and I think she's enjoying this. She's wanted to do this for about 39 years. Now, come on into the greenhouse, don't be shy, and let me explain just a couple of things. When you think about vegetables this time of year, think about them in two categories: frost hardy and frost tender or frost sensitive. What I have in the greenhouse are all frost tender. In other words, the frost will kill these plants. Or put it this way, if I were to plant these out right now and we were to get a frost, it would kill these plants. And most of them are edibles, but I'm going to show you a tray, for instance, of some marigolds that I started just a little while ago. And the reason I have them started now is so I can plant them out end of May, early June, after the threat of frost. And that's why we start. Tomatoes, for instance, I have about 20 varieties of tomatoes. Most of them are heritage varieties, but not all. One of my favorite tomato varieties is actually a hybrid. It's called Bonnie Best. Nice medium-sized, mid-season tomato, great for hamburgers. So you could do this on your kitchen windowsill. All you need is sunshine. You need some good quality soil, and I always mix with the soil some worm castings. 1 part worm castings to 10 parts soil. And I sow the seeds like so, like I have with these tomatoes, for instance, and they come up unevenly. That's okay. They come up unevenly, and as they mature, I pot them up into a 4 or 5 inch pot that looks like this. Now, they'll grow in this pot for a month to 5 weeks before I plant them out in the garden, and by the time they're ready, they'll be about that high, about 8 inches or about 20 centimeters high, and they will take off in the garden. Again, sunshine is key, so remember that above all. All vegetables love sunshine, minimum 6 hours of sunshine, and the more, the better. I also have some kale in here. These are all kale plants in a flat that I'm now potting up into 4-inch pots. And to tell you the truth, they are ready to go into the garden because they're frost hardy. Frost hardy, they'll take a little bit of frost. And I'll explain the process of how I do that when we get outside and I introduce you to my cold frames. Over here I've got some Swiss chard and all the glasses are so I can read my packets, right? Otherwise I can't read the small print in the back of the packet. And by the way, when you buy seeds, make sure you read the back of the packet. It tells you when to sow them. It tells you how deeply you should sow them, whether they need sunshine or not. And I have to say, I have a lot of fun out here this time of year leading up to the so-called planting season. But that's a misnomer too. You can plant a lot of frost hardy vegetables now, and you can sow a lot of seeds for frost hardy vegetables. So the tender ones that we have in here, just to review before we move on, would include tomatoes, peppers, all of the gassy vegetables like broccoli and that sort of thing. And soon I'll be sowing pumpkins and melons and all the members of the melon family, which are very sensitive frost. So I'm not going to put them out until later. That is, I'm not going to sow them until later, another week or two, maybe near the beginning of May, and I won't put them in the garden until the soil is really nice and warm. We'll talk more about the need for warm soil when we get outside. One thing I did want to mention while we're in here is about watering. This is so important. You need to let your seedlings get dry between watering. That would be, after sunshine, my number 2 tip. So important. So you want the soil to get dry to the touch. And the truth is, none of these are dry to the touch. They were all well watered yesterday, and I'm going to let a nice sunny day pass before I even check them. And the reason for that is, if you overwater your seedlings, they become susceptible to rot and mildew and something called damping off. However, I want to just demonstrate something for you here. It's this rose here. Have a look at that. And Mary, just shoot that. And you see how the water breaks? That's a nice, gentle way to water your seedlings without damaging them. So I love this. This is my Haas watering can, and this is called a rose, just to confuse us, because we all know of a rose is actually something else, right? But that's the English language for you. Okay, now we're going to go outside, and I'm going to introduce you to my cold frames.